Hello friends, happy holidays. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, or just happy holidays in general. Um, it has been a while since I made a video because I've been pretty busy around the holiday time, I'm busy with work and everyone's busy with family stuff, and I'm also a little sick now, unfortunately, or I think I'm coming down with something, but I thought I wanted to film one last video for the year, showing a little mini flip through of what I've been working on in my current weeks and in my 2025 weeks, if it's even in frame, but I will show it regardless. So I thought I'd show a little bit of these past like 2-3 weeks. So in the beginning of December, I was just watching Scrubs again, so that's why I just filled in a little bit, and I drew an arrow through these few days because I think I might have also lost track of what I had been doing, but for the most part I knew that I was watching Scrubs all the time. I'm a really big fan of Scrubs. I think I rewatch it like at least once a year ever since I watched it like a few years ago, and it's one of my favorite shows. It has not aged well, I guess, if you can say that. It's very much like a product of its time, I guess, if you want to even call it that, but I don't know. There's something about it that's still very like nostalgic for me, and I still really love the humor in it most of the time, and I love the music. So I've been rewatching Scrubs. And on the 14th of December, I actually went to the movies to go see Interstellar. They recently re-released it for IMAX for its like 10th anniversary, which is crazy to think about. I cannot believe it's been 10 years since Interstellar came out, but they re-released it at the movies, and I wanted to go see it in IMAX because when it first came out, I never actually got to see it at the movies. So I thought I'll go this time, but I didn't realize that the movie theater I was going to was not going to be the original film. What was it, like 45 millimeters or something like that? So the movie theater I went to just shows it on like laser IMAX, I think that's what they call it. So it's not the original like on film, it's just like digital. But it was still great. It was really cool to see it. I had a lot of fun, and it was so cool. At an IMAX theater, it's not just, or in an IMAX like I guess auditorium, it's not just like the giant screen, because as far as I know it's wall to wall, the length of the screen, but it's also the sound. The whole room is covered in speakers, and it is terrifying at certain points. I remember, I think last year I went to go see Oppenheimer in IMAX, and that was terrifying. It would shake you the entire time. And for Interstellar, it was the same thing. But this was even, I don't know if I can say louder, but it was so loud throughout the whole time. My seat was shaking the entire time. It was so good. I cried a little bit, of course, because it's Interstellar. I think I'm going to talk about spoilers throughout this whole thing, so be wary if I talk about anything that you might be interested in watching in the future. But for Interstellar at least, it was just, I'm still thinking about it. It's been like, what, 2 weeks since I actually got to see it, so I'm still thinking about it. It was such a great experience. I'd love to do it again. I wish they would show it more, because I think there had been reports saying that people were reselling tickets because of how popular going to re-see it had been. And so and they weren't expecting it because it wasn't even that popular when it first came out. So I really want to see it though. I really want to see it again. I wish I could. I think I'm just gonna buy it on like Blu-ray or something, but just the whole movie is great. It's just it's so great. I'm such a fan of Christopher Nolan, so I had a lot of fun going to that. And then after that, I kept on watching Scrubs. That's mainly what I've been doing, is watching Scrubs and going to the movies. I started playing Final Fantasy VII on like the 16th. Yeah, I started playing Final Fantasy VII. It's my first time playing Final Fantasy VII in general. I'm playing the remake right now. I'm playing the PS4 version, or I'm playing it on my PS5, but I have the PS4 like physical disc. So I'm playing the remake right now, and when I finish that, I'll probably play the second part, which is Rebirth, which I also have. It's going great so far. I was playing Xenoblade first on my Switch, but there's something about the gameplay that I'm not really into. It's like a hybrid of turn-based but also like regular combat. It's really weird. I wasn't used to it. Sometimes I'll buy games because I hear they're really good from other people and I will do no research, which is pretty rare for me because I feel like sometimes I'm pretty thorough with stuff, especially if I really want to get into it. But for Xenoblade, I just jumped the gun and bought the games. I have two of them. I have the first one that they remade for the Switch, and then I have the second one as well. And so far, I dropped it. I dropped the first one. I tried playing it for a little bit, but I just couldn't get into the combat or whatever it's considered. I don't even know because it's so weird. If you've never played Xenoblade or don't know what I'm talking about, you probably won't understand what I'm saying, but basically I dropped it because I couldn't get into it. And so I started playing Final Fantasy, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's different from what I'm used to because the only other Final Fantasy I've ever actually played and finished was 16, and that was this year, and that was amazing. I played it months ago. I don't think I have anywhere. I think I finished it in like May. Yeah, I have like. I think I finished it in May. I don't even know. I finished it months ago, and so I haven't really played another game since, which is. I don't know why. I usually don't take this long, but Final Fantasy 16, I really got into it, and I was really like into the story and stuff, and it honestly made me really sad when it ended, and it's been a while since I felt that way, so I've really taken my time to pick out my next game, because I was replaying Fire Emblem Three Houses, but I've already played that before, so I already know what's going to happen. I'm doing the same route that I did when I first played it, which is the Blue Lines, the Blue Line route with Dimitri, because he's my favorite, and I haven't finished that either, but I already know what's going to happen. It's just like, it's nothing new to me, so I really haven't played anything, and so I decided to give Final Fantasy a try, and I've been having fun. The combat is weird as well, but it's not as frustrating as Xenoblade, because at least in this one, I can actually pick when I want to hit someone, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. I'm not explaining it very well, but it is also a little bit turn-based because the original game, when it came out, I think this was like on the first PlayStation. It wasn't even on the PS2. I could be wrong, but I think the original Final Fantasy was released on the first PlayStation, and it was turn-based. It wasn't like what we have now. And so they kind of, whenever they do these type of like remakes or like I guess remakes, they try to adapt that old system into their new one, but also make it work with like modern day audiences, because I don't think a lot of them, well, some of them might want to play, like a turn-based game still, like I do with Fire Emblem, but this one it's different. It's more like a hybrid of it. and it's gotten, at certain points, it's gotten a little bit difficult for me, but I'm persevering. I'm still going at it. I'm having fun. I love Tifa. I love Cloud. Don't really like Aerith. I mean, she's fine, but yeah, I'm having fun with it. I don't think I'm that far into it because I kind of stopped playing because I got busy, and I think the 21st was the last day I played. And I'm on chapter 13, and I think there are maybe 18 chapters in the game. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I'm pretty far into it, and it's basically a week of playing. So yeah, I fought Reno and Rude, and that was awful. I couldn't get the hang of it at all. I got so frustrated. I think it took me like 4 tries to finally beat them. And they're still not dead, so that sucks. I know I'm gonna have to fight them again probably later on in the game, and I don't wanna, because I suck at it. I really suck at blocking. So I was like, whatever. I like the story so far. I'm interested to see where it goes. I know the game is split up between 3 of them, and barely the second part came out, so I don't even know when the next part is going to come out. Hopefully not 4 or 5 years from now, because I don't want to have, because sometimes what I like doing is replaying games to refresh myself on the story, but I don't think I want to do that for these games. But yeah, Final Fantasy has been fun. I also finally watched Civil War, which is a movie that came out this year from A24. It was really interesting. I wanted to write more on it, but I don't know why I didn't. But it was basically about these war journalists who are trying to document the civil war going on in the United States between the government and the states, basically. Between, I think, California and Texas and the federal government that is ruled by this, like, dictatorship, kind of. And so it was really interesting because it wasn't a story about how the war is affecting the country. It was obviously more about the journalists and how they document and what they choose to document, and how war journalists, I guess, how they're basically towing the line with this, because it's really like, this is a time that should be documented, even though it's horrible. There are horrible things going on. You know, they showed like people getting hanged, and they were just like killing each other indiscriminately, and you know, obviously because it's war, people are going to kill each other no matter what. And so it really is questioning, I guess, the morality of it, and what you would do, what this does to a person, because you're photographing and seeing these horrific things. And one of the main characters, Kristen Dunst, she suffers from PTSD from it, you know, because obviously not only is she documenting these horrible acts, but she's also living through them, and she's not even a soldier. She's just a photographer. So it was really crazy. It was really interesting to think about how far someone would go to document something so important, and also what is important to document. Spoiler alert, there's a scene where they are escaping from these soldiers that are trying to kill them, and one of the journalists that they are with, her mentor basically, gets shot and he dies, and she photographs his death, but later on she deletes it. And it plays with that, you know, morality point of it, where it's like, okay, I just photographed my mentor's death. He died trying to save us from these maniac soldiers. So it's like, is this part of history, or is this something that isn't really necessary to capture, and to share, basically? Because it's not just that you're capturing this, you're gonna put it out there for other people to see and witness and to dissect. And it was really interesting. I really liked it, but it really made me think. It wasn't anything that I was expecting, to be honest, because I was interested when the trailers first came out, like months ago, because I think this came out around the summertime, or like August or something. But I kind of like to avoid trailers of stuff that I'm interested in seeing because I like to go in as blind as I can. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to go this way and to basically make me question, like, not question journalism, but just, I guess, the nature of people and trying to tell stories and to document history and what it takes to do that, because it's not just seeing what's going on and writing about it. It's really being in it and re contextualizing this like horrific event and showing it to the public. It's like, it's really hard. Like, I can't imagine being a reporter, and especially a wartime reporter, and documenting these horrific acts, and then just what you go back to regular life after seeing that. You're obviously changed. You don't go back to normal after that. So it was really interesting to see. I really liked it. The ending was crazy. I really recommend it if you haven't seen it, to go watch it, because it was really good. And then, because I think I ran out of room, I wrote a little bit more about Scrubs, because I was on season 6, and I wrote here, I got to the part where one of the she was like a side character, but she was a pretty important character, Laverne, where she passed away. And what Scrubs does really well is they do drama so well when they have to. They have these very beautiful, heartfelt moments where the show is very it's very perverse, because it's very, very sexual in a way, because it goes off of that type of comedy where it's just these guys that are like kind of horny all the time, like too overly horny, and sometimes the women too, but it's obviously mainly the guys. And it's pretty, like, they do some kind of crude jokes here and there, but then when they get to these heartfelt moments, which they have throughout all of the seasons, it's not just until season 6, they even did it in the first season. I was like, damn, they do this really well. The cast in this it was great. I really love them. The woman who plays one of the nurses, Carla, she's amazing. The guy who plays JD is amazing. The guy who plays Dr. Cox is amazing. I really recommend the show. It's so good. They pick great music, and this episode specifically, they played a song called A Bad Dream by Keen, which is one of my favorite bands and songs of all time. So it was nice to hear that. I haven't seen the show in a while, so I kind of forgot about the music in it, but it was really great to go back and listen to it, especially because I've been on a big Keen kick lately. I've been listening to their songs a lot, so it really surprised me when I heard them in the show, because it was like, oh my god, it's Keen. So yeah, I really love Scrubs. It was great. Next, this is this week. So I've just been watching Scrubs again. And then Christmas Eve, I like to watch Christmas themed movies, of course. So I think I ended up watching, I just watched Home Alone. I was cleaning my house because my family doesn't celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day. We celebrate it on Christmas Eve. I think it has something to do with Noche Buena, which is, I don't know what it is in English. It's the good night or something. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like a Catholic thing, but we're not Catholic, so I honestly have no idea what it's for. But we celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, so everyone came over to my house. I watched Home Alone. It was great. On Christmas Day, since we don't do anything, I just watched movies all day. So I watched the second Home Alone, and I also watched Gremlins, because I did not realize that everything that went down in Gremlins happened on Christmas, which did not know it was a Christmas movie. Crazy. Also, it is a bad movie. I have not seen Gremlins in years. I have seen it before when I was younger, but I haven't seen it in years, and it is such a weird movie. First off, the Gremlins themselves, horrifying. They look awful. I get that Gizmo, fine. But then, sometimes even then, he's a little creepy. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's like the Furby like eyes that are like slightly bulging out of their head, but they just they creep me out a little bit. And but I get it. They're also kind of cute, right? Because they're all furry and stuff, but still, they look weird. And then there's this point in the movie where, spoiler alert for Gremlins from the 80s if you have not seen it, but there is this point in the movie where there's this girl who the main guy likes, and she mentions that she hates Christmas, but she doesn't explain why. And later on, when they're in the middle of like trying to concoct a plan to fight off the evil gremlins, she goes into this like trauma dump where she just says like, I hate Christmas because my dad died because he wanted to surprise us by dressing up as Santa and going down the chimney, but he broke his neck immediately. And then she said something about she lit the fire in their fireplace and he was basically like being burned also. And she just says that out of nowhere, and then no one acknowledges it. No one says anything. They don't say, wow, that's awful, or they don't look at her weird. They're just like, they just move on. It just cuts to the next scene. It's awful. So when I saw that first, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like I don't understand this at all. I don't remember seeing this at all. It was just weird. And the gremlins are so inappropriate too. They're supposed to be, I get, but I don't understand how this is like a kids movie. The 80s were weird. The 80s were so weird. So I watched Gremlins. I can't wait to forget about it for another like 10 years and then watch it again and be horrified. I finished, or I almost finished season 8 of Scrubs, which is the last season for me. And they sang a cover of Hey Ya by Outkast, right? Is it Outkast or is it Andre 3000? I think it's Outkast. But it's such a nice cover. Like, I had to listen to it again on YouTube afterwards because I'm like, damn, I forgot this cover is actually really good. It's not like a regular Hey Ya cover where, you know, it's very, the original song is upbeat and stuff, but this one they play it kind of slowly and really nicely. So I listened to that again, and I really like it. I love Ted's band in Scrubs, that they're like an a cappella group of him and like three other guys that work in the hospital. It's really funny. So I finally finished Scrubs the day after Christmas. Really sad about it. I love Scrubs. I was looking back and I realized that, well, I guess I'll mention it later, but basically I don't really watch a lot of TV, but what I do instead is I'll rewatch old stuff and watch it in full, and that's it. Like I can't, I don't know why I don't just jump from show to show. I have to like sit down, focus on one thing, and that's it. Which is fine, I guess, but not if I'm rewatching the same stuff, and I'll come back to that later. But yeah, I finished Scrubs. Super sad. I'm moving on. On Friday, I watched Sonic 3. I really wanted to see it because of Keanu Reeves, even though I don't like the Sonic movies, if I'm being honest. They're just really stupid to me. I don't enjoy any of these like live action adaptations of things. Not all of them, but so far, controversial. The first Sonic was okay, the second one wasn't that good. Mario, I didn't like. One Piece, I also didn't like. I didn't even finish the first episode. I'm not excited for the Zelda one that's coming out. I'm not excited for that at all, because I think it's gonna be produced by the same studio that's doing the Mario one, and if they play I Need a Hero during like a fight sequence for Link, I'm gonna have a fit. If they start playing modern music during the Zelda movie, I'm gonna have a fit. So yeah, I watched Sonic 3. It was fine. It was really stupid, honestly, though. I kind of, during certain scenes, I was like, I can't believe I paid for this, because I went to go see it at the movies. But me and my little sister wanted to go see it, so I decided, fine, whatever. So we went to go see it. And yeah, I don't know much about Sonic and the lore of it. I've never played any of the games or watched any of the TV shows, but I like Shadow. I think he looks cool. And I thought it would be interesting to see Keanu Reeves play that kind of character, and it was kind of just, Keanu Reeves as a hedgehog. Yesterday, I finally got to see Nosferatu. And so I did this little calligraphy for it. I recently got a stub nib from my Coeco. This is my first Coeco I've ever got. It is I think this is the Iridescent Pearl. And I originally bought it with a fine nib, but I decided to replace it with this 1.5 stub nib that I bought at Jet Pens. I think Coeco only makes these nibs in like silver, so I thought it would match better with this. So, and I'm really happy with it. I might have messed it up though, because I cleaned out this pen and I also cleaned out the nib, but I put in ink and it was still like, I guess, wet with water. It wasn't fully dry, so I think it might have gotten kind of messed up, but I think it'll be fine. But anyways, I used that to make this. I tried to make it look like how the poster has the lettering, because the lettering isn't Old English. Like, from what I can, I mean, it is Old English, it's Gothic, whatever, but it's not like if you were to look up Old English, like, this doesn't match. So I don't know what they did. It looks cool. Maybe it's a different type of Old English, I don't know. But I tried my best. I'm having a lot of fun with this. The stub nib is so fun to write with. I want to do more. I want to get better at Old English because I used to do it a lot in high school, but I would do it like with a regular pen and just like write it out by hand, and that's very difficult. So this has made it super easy to do this, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm really glad I bought that, and it wasn't that expensive. I think at Jet Pens it was like maybe $15 or less just for like the nib itself. So to me, it's not that bad. I mean, that is, I guess, pretty pricey maybe, but it's better than me buying like a whole new pen for a stub nib, because I already had this pen, and this pen's like, I think it was like $30 from Yaseka or something. Although I don't know if they still sell that one anymore. But anyway, I did this with the lettering, and I saw Nosferatu, and I loved it. I really liked it. Spoiler alert. I also went in blind for this one. I tried to avoid the trailer a little bit. I think I did see one back when they first announced it, like months ago, but other than that, I really tried to avoid it as much as I could. And then, I didn't know, like, I had to look it up after the film, because I was like, why is this following Dracula? Because it reminded me of the 1992 film Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola, and it was because it is Robert Eggers? Yeah, he adapted both Dracula and the original like short film or silent film of Nosferatu and made his own thing, kind of. So it's a combination of both, and that's why I was like, oh, it's supposed to be a mix of, I guess, both. Instead of having hot Dracula, you have gross infested Nosferatu being in love with the girl. And so it was interesting to see. It really threw me through a loop, because I was like, this is following Dracula, exactly, because it kind of is. But it was good. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's these kind of films by him, as far as I know, it's not supposed to be jump scary, even though they are horror films. It's mainly supposed to bring a dread about the person, which I really like, because my favorite film of his is The Witch. I haven't seen The Lighthouse yet, but I've seen The Northman, and obviously I've seen The Witch, and now Nosferatu. So Nosferatu does tie in, because it has some scenes that I really like, but there's something about The Witch that I just can't get it out of my head. Like, it's been with me for years since I first seen it. And it's like haunted me in a way, in the sense that there was just, I have never seen like a scary movie that just tried to be so like menacing with its presence, and not try to like jump scare me. Not to say that it didn't have scenes where it was like all of a sudden like you know, like it totally did, but I don't know, there was just something about the dread that it gives you throughout the movie as like more and more things happen to that family. And it's kind of the same thing with this one. It does have like a jump scare in the beginning of the movie, like the first 5 minutes, but that one wasn't. It's like whatever. I don't really care about jump scares. They're either there or they aren't. Like that's whatever to me. But I really liked the movie. I thought that Bill Skarsgård is such a good actor. Like, I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I've seen him in Atomic Blonde and in It, obviously. What else? In Barbarian. And I think he does characters very, very well. He played Nosferatu or Count Orlok, whatever. And he does it so well. He really like commits to the role, and I think he should really like stick to like those type of characters where he kind of reminds me of Doug Jones in a way, I guess. Because Doug Jones also plays a lot of these like horror characters where he'll like fully adapt, like Abe Sapien or like any of the monsters that he's ever played, and he'll like fully adapt into these characters and like transform and let himself become them. And Bill Skarsgård does too. Like, he did really great as the clown in It, and in this one he did really great too. So it was really cool to see, because I would like, if I didn't know he wasn't this character, like if I didn't know he was playing this character beforehand, I would not know that that was him, because first off, they did use like prosthetics on him, but also like his voice and his like, just like his movement and his like his whole essence was just like obviously not him, which is what you want an actor to do, because sometimes when you see him you're like, oh my god, that's just, you know, so and so playing a character, whereas this one it's like I could never know that that was him. He did really great. Lily Rose Depp was really great in this too. She really killed it. I haven't seen her in like anything I want to see. I never watched The Idol, which everyone hated from what I could tell. But this is like, I think the first thing I've really seen her in. My dog is barking, and also my throat's getting kind of sore because I think I'm getting sick, and my throat has been bothering me all day. But anyway, Nosferatu was amazing. I really loved it. Spoilers throughout this whole thing. Obviously, there's a scene at the end where he's dying and he's just like bleeding out everywhere, and I cannot get it out of my head. I cannot get it out of my head. It is so cool. I really love the movie. I think this is tied with The Witch so far. I'm really excited to see what Robert Eggers does in the future. I think he has such an interesting way to make movies. I mentioned in like my little section here that I wrote out that even I really loved how it was filmed and shot. Usually when movies are dark, and I mean that literally, when they're like all in shadows and in gray and stuff like that, I don't know what it is about modern filmmakers that they just want you to see nothing. They don't even want you to see the characters at that point. When they make something dark, they want you to be blind, which annoys the hell out of me. I do not know why modern filmmakers don't like want you to see anything. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I have to turn the brightness up so high just so I can see something, and I already have pretty bad eyesight, so it's already 10 times worse when someone films that way and makes things remain dark. But in this one, I could see, thankfully. Even though it was really dark and gray and moody, it wasn't impossible to see. Like, everything was well lit for the most part. And I don't know the technical terms for this, when it comes to like stuff like that. So I don't know if it's like if color grading is the right term, but this one I could actually see, which I'm very grateful for. And it fit the vibe as well with how like dark the film is. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I kind of want to see it again, mainly for that last scene. But also, I think I just want to watch like vampire romance, because in Francis Ford Coppola's or Coppola. I'm just gonna say his name wrong all the time. But in the 1992 version of Dracula, that's adapting the Bram Stoker's original story. I saw it more like a love story between Nina and the Count. So in this one, it's obviously darker in the sense that it was a little like, I don't want to use the word grooming, because I don't think that's what it is. It's more like, did I write what it was? I think I might have wrote something. I wrote monstrous, but I don't think it's just that it's monstrous. I just think that the love is it was done out of not misinformation. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't like Dracula's and Nina's where, you know, they were together in a past life and then he lost her and then he made a vow to, you know, get her back eventually and go against the church, and that's why he was cursed or whatever. Whereas in this one, she was just a girl suffering and lonely, and she prayed for someone to come for her and give her love, and then when she got that, she didn't know what she was getting, and she kind of got manipulated into this relationship with Nosferatu, and, you know, she didn't realize that it was like a real terrifying thing that happened to her, and a trauma that happened to her basically. And she's living with the consequences of that, and not that the consequences are justified or anything like that, but it was just something that happened out of their initial relationship. It was just a consequence of that initial bond that they formed when she was younger. So it was really interesting to see, because in the original 1992 version, I was rooting for Nina and Dracula. I kind of wanted them to get together, whereas this one, you feel more conflicted about it, because on the one hand, she was so desperate for this love and she got it, but obviously at what price? But at the same time, they make it seem like that was the only answer to stop all of this. So it's like, what do? You know, you're okay with her sacrifice and everything? Like, kind of sad. Really makes you question it, I guess, your morals maybe. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I really want to see it again. I think I'll probably won't see it at the movies. I'll just wait until it comes out and buy it on Blu-ray. I think I definitely want to buy it. And yeah, really good movie week. That is probably that probably won't be the last movie I see this year. I'll probably watch something else too, but that's probably the last movie I'll see at the movies, because I don't plan on going in the next few days. Today's Sunday, the 29th, so I only have a few days left until New Year's. My pen kind of bled through when I pressed down on this, because with this I kind of have to press down a little hard to write. I don't know if I can show, because you won't be able to tell how much pressure I'm putting, but I feel like when I have to put like a little bit of pressure sometimes, at least when I first started using this, but now I'm kind of like whatever about it. I don't know. Maybe I did put on too much pressure. Or maybe not. I'm having fun with this though. I'm gonna have a lot of fun practicing with it and writing more. But yeah, that's what I have so far in this book. Because after this, we're done. I don't know what I'm gonna do for these, to be honest, because I have already started using my 2025 weeks, and I will show that now. I have some ideas about what I want to do, like with my calendars, because even in that book I left it blank because I didn't know what to do with it, and in this one I started writing down small things, and I'll probably add more about Sonic and Nosferatu, and like maybe when I ended Scrubs. I don't know, but I just decorated a little bit and just wrote some stuff down. I think that's what I'm probably gonna do next time or next month, and just see where it goes, because I don't really want to doodle in this because I also have my A6, which I think I'd want to doodle in that more. But yeah, I think I'll probably just write some like events I have in here just to keep track, and especially if I lose track here, because usually what I'll do is if I don't have enough time at the end of the day to fill in my media for that day, I'll write a note on my phone and I'll just write like a little like sentence or two and then fill it in later and add more. But I think it'd be nice to also do it here, just so like I can actually give myself a chance to open my book, because usually on those days, if I'm too busy, I won't open my book at all and I'll just write it on my phone entirely, and I don't want to do that. I want to be more consistent with this. So I think I'm just going to try to do that on here and just write like small things, especially if stuff overlaps, like if I'm watching a new TV show and if I'm doing, all this other stuff. I can use the space too, so it's not like completely empty. It doesn't have to be super full too. Like here it's not super full. I just put like some Snoopy stamps, a sticker, and then I just wrote some stuff that I started, or like Interstellar when I went to go see it. But yeah, I think that's what I want to do for this. But in the beginning pages, I was like, what am I gonna do? Because this book starts in November and I don't know what to do. I don't want to overlap my information. So what I did instead was I wrote about some of my favorites from 2024. I've been writing it with my Pilot Kakuno and with the Diatramentis ink. And I love it. I really love how this looks. So I have my key here like always and what I want this book to have and my little stickers. But here I decided to write down some of my favorites from 2024 and it was really fun. I really like this. I looked back on this book to see some of the stuff that I wrote down. And so this first dot is for music. And so I wrote about Fiona Apple because I love her. And I really listened to a lot of her last year, or this year, in 2024. I listened to a lot of her, specifically her When the Pawn album. I listened to that religiously. I listened to it all the time. I was probably driving everyone at my house nuts. I was listening to it all the time. Specifically, some of my favorite songs from that one are Paper Bag, of course. Fast as You Can also got stuck in my head. Get Gone and I Know are two songs that really surprised me, that got stuck in my head this year. I wrote some lyrics down that were my favorite, where it was 'cause I do know what's good for me and I've done what I could for you, but you're not benefiting. It's time the truth goes out that he don't give a shit about me. And I just love how aggressive she gets towards like the end of the song in that one. And then like I love how she switches it up in the end, that she realizes she is too good for the relationship she's in. She's realized that she is not the problem, he is. I love how intense her voice gets, like she's yelling at him, telling him to get gone. And yeah, I love that song. It's one that it wasn't original, because I've heard the album before and I have it on CD, and it wasn't one that I like initially was, oh my god, I love that song, because I really love Paper Bag. That one was the main song that I really loved. But this one, Get Gone and I Know, really snuck up on me. For some reason this year. Another one is I Know. When I first heard I Know, I heard the King Princess version of it that I think she also sings with Fiona Apple, and it's fine. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't really get it until I started listening to Fiona's version, and that's where I was like, okay, this is what I need. I also wrote down my favorite lyrics for that one, which is, and I will pretend that I don't know of your sins until you are ready to confess. But all the time, I'll know. I'll know, and you can use my skin to bury secrets in, and I will settle you down. While you try to find the lines to speak your mind and pry it open, hoping for an encore, and if it gets too late for me to wait, for you to find you love me and tell me so, it's okay, don't need to say it. I love Fiona Apple. And then I wrote that. I don't know. I was watching, I think, Sex in the City, or I don't know what else, but I was watching shows that are based around the 90s, like maybe around when this album got released. And I've seen a lot of stuff making fun of Fiona Apple and how, I guess, aggressive she is with her love and her, like, you know, like, screw the guy or whatever attitude. And I don't get it. I feel like, for one, it's probably misogyny, right? Like, it has to be. Where it's like, how dare a woman be emotional or whatever, and write about her outrage towards a man. But I also feel like it's just like, maybe because she was young, because I think she was really young when her first album came out. She was like 18. So I think it's that people look down on younger women specifically, or men look down on younger women specifically, because one, they see it as them being naive or something, or just unaware of life, unlike them, which there might be some truth to that about, you know, not having as much experience, but the experience that young women have compared to grown men is completely different. You know, you grow up different when you're a young woman compared to a young boy. You go through different things, obviously. So it's weird to just write that off and be like, that is just female hysteria or something, or they're just too emotional or something. No, there can be emotion in it, and you can be emotional about it, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I think Fiona really captured that in that album, that like longing and heartbreak and just maybe feeling inadequate in a relationship, or maybe someone making you feel inadequate in a relationship, and just a lot of longing. Like, I think that was like I had a lot of longing in my 2024 music listens, which is weird. I don't know why it happened, but I felt it. And I mean, I can think of why I was listening to that, but yeah, I think she really captured it well on that album, and I became obsessed with it, because also the next artist I wrote about was Rufus Wainwright, and I had been listening to a lot of for one, I was listening to his NPR Tiny Desk performance from 12 years ago. He played 3 songs in that performance, and it was The Art Teacher, and then there was a second song called, he said it was like his country song, which I was like, okay, it's fine. But then the other song, Montauk, I also really liked. But I listened to a lot of Rufus Wainwright, specifically the Art Teacher. I think I found out about it last year, because I looked back in my Hobonichi, and I was able to see, like, oh my god, I listened to him in like January, I think. Like somewhere around that time, I started listening to Rufus. And it was, yeah, I started listening around January. And it was really nice to have this because I was able to look back and, you know, see what music I've been listening to. So I wrote about the art teacher because it is also a song about longing from the perspective of a young woman who loves her art teacher. The lyrics I wrote for that are, he asked us what our favorite work of art was, and never could I tell him it was him. Oh, I wish I could tell him. Oh, I wish I could have told him. He told me he liked Turner. Never have I turned since then. No, never have I turned to any other man. All this having been said, I married an executive company head. All this having been done, a Turner, I own one. Such a sad story, such a sad lyric. If you have not heard this song before, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend that NPR Tiny Desk that he does. It is so great to hear a singer sing live and sing well and sing beautifully. And he also plays piano during it. He's a really great piano player. So I really recommend listening to him and listening to that NPR Tiny Desk, because I think I wrote, he has like over 400 views, or over 400,000 views for it, and I'm pretty sure I'm at least like 100,000 of those. Like I was listening to it so much this year. I really became obsessed. Next I wrote, I think this is, oh no, I've been writing a little bit more. But next I wrote about more music. I think I wrote about Montauk, which is the other song in that NPR Tiny Desk that he has that is a really sweet song. And then I wrote about movies. I wrote a really small thing about movies because I have more explanations about the movies I liked in my 2024 week, so I didn't want to get into it too much in this. Or I might, like in this section, because I don't know what to do here. But yeah, I just wrote about some movies that I really liked last year. I watched Dune 2, Paprika, Anatomy of a Fall, amazing. Alien, the original, I saw it at the movies. Iron Claw, Challengers, amazing. I watched the South Park movie for the first time. That was really funny. Deadpool and Wolverine. Amelie, I watched it again this year. Amazing. Alien Romulus, amazing. Secretary, really great. Look Back, amazing. Metropolis, The Fifth Element, Interstellar. And then I wrote that I was going to see Nosferatu and whatever. Which will probably be added to that list of like amazing films that I watched within the year. I have definitely seen more movies than that this year, but I wasn't super crazy about them, or they weren't like life changers, I guess. They didn't impact me as much as these did, so I didn't write about them at all. But I have them here, or I have them in my 2024 weeks. But yeah, it was a good year for movies for me, for new and old, because I consider any movie that I haven't seen new to me. That's what considers my new movies, even though I have seen Alien, but seeing it at the movies was cool. I thought I'd played a lot of games this year, but while I was looking at my weeks and to fill this out, I realized I did not finish a lot. Because I would spend like weeks at a time playing a game, because obviously with work and life, you don't have a lot of time to play games all the time. So I would just try to like play whenever I could. And so the only games I think I finished this year were like 3. I played Mario Sunshine. I finished that in the beginning of the year, but I was already playing that in like 2023, so I just finished it in 2024. I played Nier Automata, which was fine. I did a bunch of endings for that, because if you know, it has multiple endings, but there are like 5 that are the main ones, and then it has like another like 20 that are just like for fun. But I only did like the main 5. because I didn't want to do all of them. I played Final Fantasy 16, which was heartbreaking. And then I tried playing Baldur's Gate, and I just did so bad. I really want to get into it because I bought the physical edition one. So I waited like months to get that thing. And then when I finally played it, I played it for like a few days, and then I got frustrated and I stopped playing. So now I really want to play it, but I'm just like so worried I'm gonna suck because I'm playing on my PlayStation 5. So it's different from PC, you know, it looks different. And I don't have a PC, so it's not like that's even an option for me, but I've been waiting so long for this game, and it's so hyped, and it looks so cool. Everyone's fan art looks so cool, but I just feel like I suck. Like, I just don't get it, I think. And the gameplay isn't even like it's not like I'm frustrated because I can't hit people. I'm just frustrated because I suck. So I don't know what to do. I really want to tackle that this year, or in 2025 though. Hopefully I get to, cross my fingers, I actually get to do it. I did finish Resident Evil 4 though, which I also was stressed about because it scared me. But it was good. It was fun. I really liked Resident Evil 4. I love Leon. I don't think I'm gonna finish Final Fantasy in the next few days, so that'll probably go into my 2025 book. I wrote down that this was a big year for shows for me because in my mind, I was like, yeah, I have watched a lot of TV this year. I did watch a lot of TV. I watched 11 seasons or whatever of Frasier. So yeah, that took a while. I did not watch that much TV. I was looking back through my weeks and I realized like, oh my god, I'm like watching full like series shows that have like multiple seasons that have like 20 episodes in a season. And I am not getting through this fast. I watched Seinfeld this year for the first time, which I really liked. Didn't like the ending, but I really liked the show. I thought it was super funny. I watched Frasier again, which I've already seen before, but again, I watched it in its entirety. So that was multiple seasons, and it's also like 20 episodes a season. I watched, of course, I always watched Sex and the City. But that's like a fast watch kind of, but still, you know, it takes a while to watch that. And then oh yeah, I was watching a Dexter for the first time this year, but I have not finished it yet. I still have, I think, one more season to go, or like two. And I haven't even watched the new one that came out, but I watched, you know, what is that, like 6-7 seasons of Dexter? Like I watched a lot of that, so I'm watching these really long shows, some of them new, and some of them I have watched multiple times. And it's taking up a lot of time, so I was like, wow, I need to stop watching my comfort shows because there's so much TV I want to watch, but I get overwhelmed because I feel like I have to sit down and pay attention and focus. Like especially anime, because I don't watch anime in English for the most part. Like I usually, whatever language I watch the series in first, I'll watch it in that language. So usually I'm watching it in Japanese and I don't speak Japanese, so I have to sit down and pay attention and to read the subtitles. So I often don't, you know, watch anime even though I really want to because I have to sit down and focus. Whereas if I'm watching Frasier, because I've seen it so many times, I can do other things while having it on in the background. So it's this like dilemma for me that I've like made up in my head where I'm like, oh, I need to really sit down and focus and, you know, like watch something good. So I'm gonna just flip back to this page so you have something nice to look at while I rant, while I yap away. But yeah, I realized looking back in my weeks, I was like, wow, I actually didn't watch that much TV. Like I thought I watched like a whole bunch of stuff, but in theory, the only shows I really finished were Sex and the City, Frasier, Seinfeld, Scrubs. kind of Dexter, not really. So what, like 5 shows? That's crazy. In a whole year, I've only watched like 5 shows. Like, that's insane. So I obviously have watched more TV. I watched True Detective as well, but like that's like nothing, because True Detective is what, like, I did watch seasons 2 and 3, and then I watched the new season that came out this year with Jodie Foster, which I really liked. But I think it's only like a few episodes in between. Those HBO shows, they don't do that many episodes in a season. At least not in like more modern day ones, so it's not like these 20 episode seasons like with Seinfeld and Frasier or Scrubs. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm watching nothing. And so I find comfort in watching old things because I can have it on in the background and, do whatever I want to do, like journal. So I don't know. I think next year I really want to focus on new things because I don't want to go on my phone really next year. Or I mean, even now, I already like deactivated my Instagram. I deleted TikTok months ago. I'm trying to stay off of Twitter because Twitter pisses me off and I really only go on there for fan art. But I like just don't want to go on social media anymore. I kind of want to be a hermit at this point. I just want to like stay in my bubble and stay in my thing, especially because next year is gonna, with the election and stuff, who knows how next year's gonna go. It's probably not gonna go great, but I have stuff in my personal life too that I'm just like, I'm tired of this and I just want to like relax and just do what I want to do, and not just do something because of a trend or whatever, or focus on something because other people say it's something I should focus on. Like, I just want to be able to absorb things on my own and to have my own opinion and to have my own thoughts and to not be so not coerced but like molded by social media almost. But sometimes you get in those moods where you just want to delete everything and you just want to throw away everything. That's what happens to me a lot. So instead of throwing away all my stuff and regretting it, I'd rather just delete social media and just move away from that for a little bit and take a break, because it's just better for me. So yeah, I really want to do new things next year in terms of media, where I want to watch more new TV and more new movies that I actually like. If I don't like something by like the first or second episode, I'm just dropping it. I already did that this year. I did that for multiple things where if I'm not into it, I'm just gonna drop it. Like, I don't care. I don't need to give something like, multiple seasons to give it a chance. Like, that's not, I don't want to do that. There's no point. Just because other people say it's good, I don't care. I did that for other things this year and it was not worth it. I want to read more. I really miss reading. I think I read one book this year, and it was a book I've already read, and I reread it. I read a lot of fan fiction, but that doesn't count, sadly, to me, at least. So, I really want to read more, and not just manga. I want to read like the actual physical books I have, and I want to buy more books. Like, I shouldn't, but I want books. Like, I miss being a reader, and I can't do audiobooks. Sadly, they don't work for me and they don't count for me, so I need to like try to read my physical books again, especially because we have such great bookstores in San Francisco. So I don't know why I wouldn't just like go there and get some stuff, because I want to, like I really want to. I miss going to a bookstore. And yeah, this is so far all I have for my weeks and stuff. I'm excited for the new year. I'm excited to start my cousin and my A6. I put a little ribbon on my A6 because I thought it was cute. I received a package from Nico Neko. I ordered some things from them over the holidays, and I guess they wrapped it for like as in a Christmas theme. So it was really cute. They included this ribbon on it. I'll try to post a picture of my package. I think I posted I think I took a picture of it, and they included this ribbon, so I thought I'd just tie it through like the inside of my book and tie it on the outside. It's not a permanent fixture, obviously. I can take it off anytime I want, but I thought it was really cute, especially because the ribbon on this cover, sadly, is at the back of the book. So I thought, oh, I could just put one on the side. It's really cute. I'm excited to start my cousin in a few days. I'm excited to start my A6, and I've already started my weeks, but I'm excited to really get into it. Oh wow, I still have a lot of pages for December. Ugh, I don't know what to do with these. Maybe I'll leave them blank, or maybe I can fill stuff in. I don't know. I could write stuff that I want to see. Maybe I'll do that. I'll write stuff of like, these are the series I really want to see next year, and I can just cross them off later on. Yeah, maybe I'll do that, because I'm already writing my favorites of 2024, so I think I'll just do that. I'll write stuff that I want to see and be prepared for this week, for the new week. I'm excited. I hope you guys have a happy new year. Stay safe. I hope everyone's holidays goes well. Hope none of you get sick like me. I think I'm gonna lose my voice soon. I'm gonna rest and isolate myself probably, because I don't want anyone else to get sick. But I hope you have a happy new year. Have a good rest of the year, these last few days. Hopefully this goes up before January 1st. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.